Welcome to Geek Herring, a critical geek culture podcast where we talk about intersectional and inclusive feminism in a male-dominated environment. Hi, I'm Amanda, and with me today is my wonderful, hilarious, awesome, and wearing a shirt that does not say "Go find Jesus," but in fact says "Go find less." Sweatshirt. Did I already say sweatshirt? It's Bonnie!
I didn't get the ending of this, what you were trying to portray, but yeah, hi.
I really lost my train of thought, but it's Bonnie who's here with me. It's no one else. It's Bonnie.
I'm not
Hello.
Jesus. I also don't wear a Jesus t-shirt or a sweatshirt or a hoodie or whatever. It's Go Find Less from Elise Myers. She's currently selling more merch, so you should all go and get some. There's more like these, and there's some other cool ones as well. So, yeah, hi. Hello, Amanda. How are you
Hi.
doing? Happy Tuesday.
I'm doing good. Thanks. Well, thanks. It's Tuesday. I don't know where this week has gone. I have so much work to do by the end of the month, which is today, and I haven't finished it. Like literally I have so much to do by the end of this day, and I'm like,
Yeah, and it's already 3
I don't think
o'clock.
there's enough hours in my day for me to actually do this work. It's fine though. It's
You
fine.
can do it like I do it and stay up until 2 a.m. to finish this shit.
Yeah, that might be happening tonight. But usually when I get back from boxing, I'm like, good for nothing. So we'll see.
How was boxing last week?
It was good. It was very, very difficult. Um, because I hadn't been for like a month at all.
Yeah.
But it was good. I like drank my water faster than I've ever drank a liter of water in my life. And the instructor was all like, "You good there?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, fine."
Love that for you. But cool.
Yeah.
But you didn't fall back into another health down, but stayed healthy, so that's all good. So yay, back to boxing. Woohoo.
Woohoo! Yes, it's good. And then I actually can't wait to be back from Florida when I can redo like get my gym membership again, because it's I let it run out because I'm not going to be here for 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's no point in paying for something that I'm not going to use, and so I'm just waiting. But I'm like,
I can't
oh, I
relate.
kind
I'm
of
still
actually.
sponsoring.
I have never been this person who's like, oh, I really wish that I was going to the gym with Kathy. Like, really enjoying the friendship, the fun, and the working out together. And I'm like, how did this happen? How did I become this person?
Jimanda. I mean, there are more things that I can't relate with. It's the looking forward to going to the gym bit, but it's also the I'm not using it, so I'm not paying for it bit. Considering I'm still sponsoring the Square Enix charity for the last 5 or 6 years while I've barely played. So I feel like this poor company really needs some money desperately, and I'm giving it to them regularly because there might be an off chance of me having an itch and then wanting to play again. Even though this off chance is very rare and it's barely happening.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized the tag that I used was LGBTQIA plush instead of plus.
Okay.
I mean, apparently now we're furries too, but here we are. Sorry. I just saw that no one was looking and I was like, this is not plus. What is this? Anyway.
Tempted to explore. Anyways, how are you?
I'm doing well. I have a bit of a headache, but I think it's because, as you can see on stream, but not on the podcast, it is very sunshiny today and very warmy, and it wasn't very that for a while. So I feel like the temperature is getting to me. Like the old lady that I am.
Aw, bless.
So yeah, that's and also as you say, the day is going too fast. and I have so much to do, and this is not exciting. But it needs to be done, so it will be a longer night today again. While yesterday I took it quite slow, but then somehow it kind of ran past me, and it's already 4 here now, so I feel like things.
I understand. I've lost so much time today because I went to get my hair done, and then that takes ages. And then I had to go to the store on the way home, and that took ages. And then when I got back to my little village, there are 3 roads that go to my house, and all 3 of them were closed. And I was like, how did I get home? Like, there was signs that said road closed on all 3 ways to my house. And I was like, but I live, how do I get home? So I was like driving around my little village shouting like, let me home.
Let me home. It's like the one time there was a sporting event in our town, and they blocked off everything because people were running there. And at the end of it, I left house and I passed it and went out of the barricades to pick up food. And when I came back, the guy didn't let me in anymore. So I was standing, even though nobody was running anymore, because it was the end of the thing, and I just passed the guy 10 minutes before. He didn't let me in anymore. Fucking cunt. Still so annoyed when I think about this now. But it's not great if you're almost home and you're not really home. It's so upsetting.
So upsetting.
Because what are you doing? No. This is too much. But today we're coming with a deeper topic. Well, maybe not with a deeper topic, but I don't know how deep it's going to go. But the intention was
deep. It could be deeper. It's one of these topics that we were, full disclosure, we were going to record a Geek Girl in the News today, and then I was like, no, I have thoughts. We need to talk about this.
Which is good. I mean, also kind of interesting, but good at the same time. I liked it, so I was like, yeah, let's do that. Mm-hmm. Manda came to me and phrased it more like, not the way we phrased it in the title, which is like, you do you, or why the patriarchy can suck it.
Yeah, I said something different. Where is it?
I'm just scared to click anywhere.
Bring up our private text, but I said, an episode on life markers, living to others' expectations, and finally allowing yourself to be free from all that bullshit and accept your weirdness.
Yes. Tell me how that came about.
No, because that might be disrespecting some boundaries.
Oh, okay.
But, well, okay. It came up kind of related to a question of the day in a Discord server that I am in.
See, I was thinking about this story. Like, what do you...
Like, sorry. No, I didn't want to overstep personal sharing boundaries.
But I meant the Discord story.
There you go. There it is. So that, and my brain was like, okay. And then I didn't want to be all... Well, I mean, you know how I can get, and be like, fuck society! Who says who has what standards? Fuck the patriarchy! We can do what you want! In there, and I was like, so I'll just do it over here with you.
I'm sad we can't get annoyed at other people's, well, we can, but, well, basically, I think that's something that's kind of, I don't know what the English word for it is. Is always
word?
What?
What's the German word?
Now that you ask me, I also forgot it. What?
Hilarious.
I totally forgot my entire train of thought right now. Okay. Oh, it is begleiten uns. So Charlie helped me. What is begleiten? It accompanies us, kind of like that. I'm not sure it's the right word. Through basically everything we do anyway, because we are like, fuck all of this, we're gonna do what we want and whatever. But then I feel we've hit the point in our life where all of us have like this wonderful, like, I've been at my first 40th birthday party last weekend, and it is so wild to watch literally everyone sitting in the middle of their midlife crisis. And like, you're part of it, like you as a person, like me as a person, I'm in the middle of one, and literally everybody around me was in one. And then with everybody I talk to that's around my age, everybody has experienced some different kind of midlife crisis. Gemma is saying she's marrying her midlife crisis. Like, and I feel this comes with, and I feel we've always been this, fuck it, we do what we want, fuck the patriarchy, fuck like the typical standard of how you do life, like the getting kids at 20 and getting that's the wrong way around, because you're supposed to be doing it. Exactly. You're supposed to be doing it with finding a partner, then moving in together, then you get married, and then you have babies, and then I don't know what then's going on with your life, but like there is some standard that you're supposed to follow, and we've always been the kind of like, fuck all of that, we do what we want kind of thing. But we still like live in this society that's kind of expecting you to follow it, which I think comes with its own problems, and it has always pissed me the fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you say, you went through some of the major lifestyle or life markers that society expects you to do, but then there's like, get a driver's license, get an education, get a good job, get a promotion, reach the top of your promotion tree, retire, die. Like, it's very, these are the things you do. These are the things that you are expected to do because the patriarchy tells you. And we do live in a patriarchal society, and it's bullshit most of the time, like 99% of the time, right? And we don't need to do like prescribe to what everybody else does. Like, march to the beat of your own drum. I actually had that on a poster in the 90s because
Aww.
super cool.
Because hashtag super cool.
Yep.
I mean, in the 90s we didn't have hashtags, but in hindsight it was hashtag super cool.
It was totally. There was another one, and it was a monkey, and it had headphones on, and it said, "I don't know where I'm going, but I've got the beat."
I feel that kind of a bit ties into the latest, or like one, no, not the latest, but the previous whack episode where I think we underestimate the power that society has on us, despite feeling like we are doing it, we're not doing it the way they want anyway. But because you still live in a society that is putting that amount of pressure on you and is looking at you weird because you're kind of weird. Like, when I go to all these celebrations, or like all these class reunion things, and then I was always the only one who wasn't married, who didn't have children, who did all the school things, and who's working on her own with something that nobody ever understands. Like, in my direct surroundings, literally nobody gets what I'm doing for a living. Mm-hmm. So it's always the odd one out in a weird way. And at the same time, I sometimes feel I'm so ridiculously normal and ordinary that I'm like, I'm not that special. Like, I'm just weird. I'm just sit at home all the time. And I'm like, not that I say that I'm weird, but maybe I'm not that. Like, I question my weirdness in it all, in a way. Some very, very strange sometimes.
Yeah, like you text me back and you're like, I love this idea, but you know, that's not me. And I was like, yes it is. Of course it is. And you're like, oh yeah, LOL. So it is.
I mean, yes, in a way it's like, sometimes I wonder if I just make myself sound more unnormal than I am. Like, I don't know, it's really difficult to explain this feeling of feeling really ultimately very, very ordinary. Like, I have no other stories to tell in a way. I don't know. It's just a weird core feeling that I'm just so boringly normal and I'm not very interesting and I'm just I don't know, making it up with saying weird shit most of the time.
Mood.
Do you have that too? Is that just me? You're just like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've always felt quite the odd one out when with my family. My cousins are all wonderful people. Hello, cousins, if you're listening to this. I don't know if any of you do. And I love them all, and they have all more or less followed the get your driver's license, go to post-secondary education, find a partner, marry the partner, have a baby, have a career, and like they're all doing it, and that's wonderful, and the babies are all very cute. I'm just like, yay. But like me, I have not done that at all, and I've always felt like, oh well, they're doing like the life stuff that you're supposed to do, and I'm moving to Scotland. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So that wasn't okay, interesting. And then I'm like, oh well, now I'm dating a woman. Well, that doesn't fit into what my family's doing either. Okay. And now then I moved to Northern Ireland, and like I'm doing this weird job that no one really understands, which is fine by me. But like I'm not married. I don't have babies. I don't really have any desire to have babies. I still don't really know what I'm doing with my life, and I'm almost 40, and like all of this stuff, and it's just like, so what? Be the weird one. Do the weird things.
I wonder how much people just fake that they are having their shit figured out, though. Like, and how much we assume other people have figured it out and they actually haven't figured it out at all.
Mood. That's for sure.
Liz says I don't want to be weird no more. Like, I feel in a way we're all like. This is the two hearts beating in my chest, right? The one is like where I feel like we all are really weird. Like we're all just weird. And if I look at it from the outside, I do think I'm weird in relation to my surroundings. Like I live on the countryside where there's like everything is super super the same. I don't homogeneous. Is that a word? Homogeneous.
Yeah.
In German it's a word. I have no idea how to pronounce it in English, but homogeneous. Like you have like the same cookie cutter everything, and yes, everybody has that drama. Like the ones are getting divorced and the other ones, but like the system is kind of, and the pattern is like always the same. And if I look at it like that and compare myself to that, then I'm definitely the weird one out, right? But then if I sit with myself in my place in my house, I just feel like me. And I don't think I personally am very interesting. But in relation to other people, I feel I am different to those. And again, I see that when I don't know, go places and whatever. I'm like, and I always wasn't, to be fair. Like I was the one that didn't want to go out at 15 and hook up with a random bunch of people just because I'm 15 and I think I need to do this. Like I always like stayed at home, did the internet thing until like 2 a.m. in the morning. It came full circle, really, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember being like all the way back in high school. No, that's maybe started even before that when I did middle school in Pennsylvania. And it was very like very cliquey and very like you had to be friends with certain groups of people in order to kind of fit in, and it was very like just a much different space to be in. And each year of my middle school, I was friends with a completely different group of people. And the second year, I was friends with a group of guys. And like then it was me and this group of guys, and it was fantastic. It was actually probably one of my favorite years, because just it was really enjoyable to hang out with those guys. Actually, they're great. I miss them. Anyways, random. And the next year, I was friends with a group of girls. I'm not sure why. I just like floated group to group, and like these were my friends this year, and they were all quite weird, in a good way, of course. And then I moved back to Canada for high school and found a group of very weird people, which is fantastic because there were like my closest friends from that group are very non-traditional as well, and so it definitely helped solidify like me being an absolute weirdo as well. But looking back, like if I had continued in high school in Pennsylvania where I was growing up, I was like, I wonder, because so many of my friends had like my friends that were in one of the 3 social groups that I was in had teenage pregnancies, they had drug overdoses, they like ran away from home, and I was like, would that have been me had I been there? And like I do often question that. Like I don't think it would, because but I don't know, because it's like what I have just followed along with society, like what people expected of the people at that high school, which was kind of the rougher high school in the area, and like would I have just been like, this is what the society expects of us, obviously not in those teenage words because teenage brain, and like that's what I'll do.
Like it's more like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing,
right? As opposed to just being my weird self in my weird Canadian high school, which apparently is like the roughest where I grew up, but that's fine.
The roughest. Yeah. I mean, I do, like Jem also says, the circumstances influences a lot in that way. And I do think so too. Like, and sometimes it just needs the wrong kind of people to get in the wrong kind of circles and doing really stupid shit. I don't know. I don't know if maybe I always think I'm this I I think in my teenage years I was not very, but then on the other hand maybe I was not very anti-establishment, but at the same time I kind of must have been, because otherwise I would have gone out with everybody else and done all that stupid shit at the same time, but I didn't because I felt really bad doing it, and it made me like went home crying after like one of those, and I was like, I hate this, I don't want to do this, and nobody likes me and everybody hates me and blah blah blah. And so maybe I would have, but I also made it I don't know, I also made it very much dependent on whether or not boys liked me at the time, and nobody liked me because I was weird and fat, and nobody gave a shit about that if you ran around with like half supermodels or whatever. Like you do when you go out. Like who gives a shit? Like that's why I hate going out. It's so annoying, and who gives a shit? Because everybody just focuses on this one. And I was never, I mean, in hindsight, I know why. But I was never really, I think I have 0 sexual energy. And I think that's not what people were after back in those days. That's true. So I think that was also bits of why I was like not feeling comfortable there in the slightest, which now that I realize why that's been the case, because I don't give a shit about that, but it's just something that makes everything a bit different. Hindsight is helpful sometimes. Yeah, literally. So yeah. And I just think it's really hard to find your way in, like, I think it's hard in every stage of your life, in a way, to find your way and stick to your own guts. Because there's so much that you start to question immediately around this. Like, you question it as a teenager, you don't feel like you belong, and then you do things you might not want to do, and you not listen to yourself as much as you would have otherwise done. if you felt, I don't know, more comfortable in yourself or trusted yourself more in your own decisions and what you want to do. And again, like Gemma said, the outside circumstances influence you a lot during that, because all you want to do is be liked, right? So you do things so you get liked, and you maybe make decisions that aren't great and not what you would otherwise have done. And then you grow older and then you develop this opinion, and then all of a sudden you realize, well, maybe that's not my opinion. I don't know. And then you question yourself again. Life is full of questioning all the time, and it's fucking annoying.
Oh, ain't that the truth? And there's no bad thing in questioning life and question, like, if it's coming from a place of like introspection in yourself, I think. But it can be exhausting, especially when that comparison comes in and you see what other people are doing and you see what society like expects you to do, and all those questions from like relatives being like, well, when are you going to have a baby? When are you getting married? When are you going to get a real job? When are you going to insert something shit here? And it's like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. And that's okay. And I think that we need more talk and more permission to be ourselves and do life on our own schedule, because your personal schedule is the only one that matters. Your personal timeline is the only one that makes a difference in your life. Like, you don't need to live your life to somebody else's expectations and the timeline that they think you should have, because shoulds are mostly bullshit. Just do what makes you happy in the timeline that makes you happy. And I know it's hard not to compare yourself to other people, but don't compare yourself to other people.
Gemma has posted a quick novel in chat, so I'm just going to read that out. And that's part of human evolution. In terms of brain development, the reason that happens, rebellion and peer bonding, is due to what parts of our brain are developing. Once you're older, your brain is fully developed and you can better process things, and the biological urges change. Not the biological like having kids, biological like how we form bonds to other people and how we can see yourselves in that from a psychology brain perspective. Bullshit. I like bullshit.
Bullshit. That's a bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's true. But I feel like, yes, I agree. Well, like, obviously, it's scientifically right, I guess. I think we also put ourselves into some kind of prison of our own mind, unrelated to how old we are. Sometimes. And I'm just going to make an example now. And we've been like kind of egging around this for a long time. For a long time, it's not true. So I am a very spiteful human being, right?
Ooh, spite.
we know. Hi, Yoshi. We know that the way I live my life is 90% because of spite, and the rest of it is food. Like, people are like, really? I had no idea. So,
surprise, brand new information.
Shocking, brand new information. It's not like this podcast happened from spite or whatever, or anything else in my life happened from spite. So, especially during those high breeding times when literally everyone around me was starting to throw out babies, and people asked of me to be like really like throwing out babies as well. I was like, fuck all of this shit. You can all four legs and the tail. My uterus is out of order anyway. All shit like that, right? Oh, the stream is broken. Hello.
It's janky for me as well. You're janky to me, Money, so I think it's your internet.
It says it's fine. Are we moving?
Yeah, it seems to be back now.
Are we back? Throw up babies, is that how it works? Okay, cool. Throw up babies.
Thanks.
Okay, so I was like very anti all of that. And I do have very strong opinions about people and parents, because I do think people that become parents are a pain in the fucking ass, and I stand behind the statement still. However, I have reached a point in my life where I found myself thinking about this now. It must be the patriarchy messing up the internet. Exactly.
True.
And having active discussions with my partner about making babies, right? And I feel like and on the one hand, it's nobody's business but mine and my partner's. But at the same time, I feel like I'm betraying myself in what I said the last 10 years. Because I am so anti, and I was so anti all of this, and I still am for a lot of it, like about a lot of it. But at the same time, I'm like, huh, look at this. I didn't think that was ever come for me at all. But here I am sitting in it. And now I'm dealing with the shit of like, I was talking shit about this for years and years and years and years and years. And I still think it's very valid, and I think I'm right about this. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I'm betraying my own principles with this as well. So yeah, it's very, very, very. So you also need to fight the bullshits in your own mind sometimes about what is expected of you, what you are expecting of yourself, which image you create around yourself and for yourself at the same time, and maybe that changes too. And it's just really fucking weird to all of a sudden sit in it. I don't know.
Yeah, I absolutely get that, because you go through life believing one thing of yourself, like, I don't want babies. I never want babies. I absolutely don't want babies. And now it's like, oh, maybe I do want babies. And like, because we're a little bit later in the baby making life world, that biologically makes things easier. Um, um, it also makes it a bit of a challenge
Mm.
to. I lost my train of thought there. Makes it a bit of a challenge to um, accept your own change, and then it's more difficult when you're a bit later in life as well.
Yeah.
These things. Um, so, but it's all. However, I don't know. I just think like we're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to see how our circumstances affect our life. Like Gemma never thought that she would be comfortable living with someone, and now she can't wait to move in with her fiance.
Jem also didn't expect to move intercontinentally, and here we are.
Well, this is true. This is true. So life just has this funny way of working out on its own terms in its own time, and it's probably going to be the right thing for you when it happens.
Yeah. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. The bridge is on Friday. Yeah, never mind.
True. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, I don't think I necessarily want kids. There's nothing in me that's like, I really want kids. And that's okay. But then I've also had like great role models in my life who don't have kids and are now like in their 70s and have never had kids. And it's just like, okay, so you can have a valid and fulfilling and excellent life with not having kids. And then of course, like there's people in my life that do have, there's many people in my life that do have kids. And it's like, okay, so that's another way to have life. Like there are ways to have life that doesn't have to fit in the patriarchy's
idea of it all.
Yes, thank you. I was like, what am I trying to say?
Yeah. And I also don't think the thing comes up for me because, like, I don't, like, I can't even put my finger on it. It's not that desperate need of, I need one, otherwise my life will not be fulfilled or whatever. Like, I need to procreate, so stuff. But there is some place where I'm like, there is bits that I don't think, it's so hard to mention that. Like, not to mention, it's so hard to put words behind this. It's this feeling of this relationship to a child. I think that is my biggest driver. That's something that I don't necessarily think I wanted so much, because all I saw was work 90% of the time, and I'm very aware that it's like 120,000% work anyway. But I think the relationship to a child is the thing that is pulling me the most at the moment about this.
Mm.
And it's not exactly, it's like, as Yuffie said, my friend's mom always told me kids are a choice, not a requirement, so do what's best for you and that can change. It's true. And I do think a lot of people see kids as a requirement and don't think about what this entails if kids are your requirement to live life and to be in a life. I feel like there's also a lot of pressure on the children, because if you have kids only to make your life fulfilling, then what the fuck is wrong with you? And like, that's too big of a burden, in my opinion, to put on a child. And then at the same time, a lot of people don't make the choice, and then they just get one, and then the poor children or whatever, like, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big decision. Like kids change your life, and in so many ways. Most of them good, I think.
I mean,
Somebody with kids.
I guess you don't know. I guess that's the
me.
thing. You get a package of things that you don't know if the changes in your life are the ones you want. I feel that's the biggest issue, the biggest thing with it, I think.
Like sometimes I think like because I obviously I have a lot of love to give, and as most of you know, I put my love out there, and I like that. And when there are times when I think about like, oh, if I don't have kids, will I, like, what do I do with all of this love? There's only so much love I can give, like Tom and like my friends, like and Kit Kat. So I don't know. It's a very complicated question. But then I'm like, oh well, I'm getting a lot older now. And do I want to be like the kind of person who has a baby now and then is like 70 when my kid's like 35, and that stuff. But then like you have to think like there's all other roads that have babies too. Like there's adoption, and there's fostering, and there's being a godparent, there's being an awesome aunt. Like there's so many.
I already checked that awesome.
So many ways.
I'm already the best fucking aunt ever.
It's true. I am also an awesome aunt. To just one baby so far, 2 in June.
Woo!
Woo! But yeah, like Gemma says, and that's the point that I'm making. Like it's complicated, and no one can make your choice for you. And that I think that's like the real thing that I'm getting down to is like no one can make these choices for you. And try not to beat yourself up if you're not doing what everybody expects you to do.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
we should probably we should generally free ourselves of judgments from other people anyway, because it doesn't really matter. No, it does not matter. Not this doesn't not really. It doesn't matter in the slightest. And you are the only person who knows what's best for you sometimes anyway. Well, you should be the person who knows what's best for you. I feel like I don't always know that. But yeah. Yeah, with it.
And I also would like to read out what Gemma said, because I just read it and I'm like, I relate to this so much. She said, sometimes I feel guilty because I'm happier without babies than I ever thought I could be. And I'm sometimes grateful because I couldn't do what I'm doing now if I had babies. But I'm just living life and making choices every day, and we will see what happens. And like, I really, really relate, Gemma, because I'm like, I couldn't do all the weird stuff I do right now if I had a baby with me. Like, I couldn't take off to Canada for 3 months. I mean, I could, because my mom would be like, "Woo, grandbaby." To be honest, I don't even think she would. She once told me I'd be a terrible mom, so I was like, "Cool, thanks, mom."
Wow.
Well, no, I asked her, because I did go through a point where I was like, "Do I want to be a mom?" And I was like, "Mom, do you think that I would be a good mom?" And she was like, "No, not really."
What?
Thanks, mom.
Holy shit.
So that was fun. Then we laughed, and I was like, "Cool," because yep, cool.
Brutal.
Harsh, honest. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I'd be a like 60% decent mom, and then 40% locking myself away and neglecting the child.
Let's be honest, I think that's like 90% of mothers, but nobody tells you. I think that's also it. Like, everybody expects mothers to be this grateful human being, that they suddenly are able to care for a child, when in fact it's also fucking terrible a lot of the time. And you're not allowed to feel shit about it. And I think that just makes it worse. So I feel like I'm on a mission at the same time to be like, I would mother the way I fucking want to mother. My children will teach other children to swear in kindergarten, because fuck that. Like, why do we think the children are not able to swear right when they definitely start to swear as soon as they're like, what, 15, 16? Why the fuck are we pretending? Like, why the fuck are we pretending children aren't allowed to swear? Have you ever seen a toddler say shit? It's the cutest fucking thing. And like, fuck this.
My mom actively teaches and taught all of my nieces and nephews, and is now teaching all of her great nieces and nephews to say shit. And as soon as they say it, she's like, "I'm done now, mission accomplished."
Exactly. And I just think, and there's so many things about all of this where I'm like, I just want to fucking rock the boat with this and be all like, fuck you all. I don't know. I also don't think mothers know best all the time. Mothers think they know best, but I think a lot of the times mothers don't even know who their children really are, which is fine. That's why I also think that the notion of my mother is my best friend is also bullshit, because your mother is your mother and your mother is not your best friend. Like, yeah, those are two different roles in your life that shouldn't be occupied by the same person. I feel you can have a good relationship to your mother, but if your mother is your best friend, then there's something in the system where I'm like, you really need an outside source that's not your family, that puts your head straight and gives you perspective. But like, my parents and my family don't know me at all as a person, what I really like, what I enjoy. Like, they know how I do things, maybe because they know me for so long, but they don't know me. Like, and so they always pretend to know better than you. And we had that talk, like Gemma and me last night. We're like, parents trying to trick the children into, I don't know, eating shit just because they have the power and stuff like that. I'm just like, exactly. And sometimes they don't even have idea about you as a child. Yeah, as you say, Liz. And I think that's like, fine.
That also leads.
Sorry. You think that leads?
It just leads back to something that Cheesy said earlier in the conversation as well, about like a expectation from your parents that's also adding these like societal issues, and how like that is very much impacting, because you're always wanting to try to I mean, I can't say everyone is always trying to, but as a child, I always wanted to like, live up to my parents' expectations, and like do what they wanted me to do and be like a good child and do all that stuff. And like really when it comes down to it, like I'm pretty sure that I am not living a life that either of them envisioned for me. However, I'm also really lucky because my parents are fucking awesome and like they just want me to be happy. And even though like they don't understand, well, mom now and dad didn't understand 90% of what's going on in my life, they're still like, good for you, with a confused look and shaky thumbs up.
I think that's
um
also it, right? That especially the generation of our parents, they live so outside of, they have no understanding of what our life was like and how, what it was like. It is, I think it's such a different generation now than even compared to them, because back when my parents grew up, you had like this was even worse. Like it was this plastered path of they even work in the same job as the parents did, and there was like this living in this big group family house where all the families lived together and like multiple generations lived together. That's what I meant, multi-generational house, where and they were all doing the same kind of thing. So you at least the older ones had some kind of idea what the newer generation was doing. But now we're not having any of that. Like they don't understand a single thing about what's going on with our life if they are not like open and open to receiving and open to know what it is like, and being just interested in what's going on. And I do think there are a lot who don't give a fuck, and who and I think that's the right to be like, this is too much for me. I'm like, I lived my life, I've done all that, that's not what I want. I'm like, oh right, but I feel that makes it even more difficult because our futures were not even remotely on the screen when they were growing up or during their life, and all of a sudden all these things are popping up, all these different jobs are popping up, all the different things are popping up, and there's no way to wrap your head around all of that anymore anyway.
Tom and I were talking about something similar to this just last week or the week before, about how when our parents were in their 30s and their mid to late 30s, like they didn't have the options available that we have now. Like they had, you had to get a job or stay at home and look after the kids, because it was absolutely able to be affordable then to have one parent full time at home, and like live on one salary. And like it taught me even that his parents, in their like mid to late 30s, wouldn't have even just felt comfortable wearing a t-shirt, whereas like we wear t-shirts all the time. Like it had to be more formal, like always like a collared shirt or a polo shirt or a dress shirt or something, just to
Really?
and
Interesting.
like they didn't make time for having hobbies, on the whole. And there was like, it was just, what did you do? You went to work, you came home, you had dinner, you watched TV, you go to bed, you get up and do it all again.
True.
And so there I think that there has definitely been a positive shift in society where people are more encouraged to explore hobbies, to get outside and do exercise, or to do something different at night as opposed to just like sit and watch TV. And I'm not saying that there's anything bad with sitting and watching TV. Like I just really want to put that out there. But like I think there has been a shift to explore different alternatives.
Yes. I also think it's because the way the workforce changed. Because I remember when I was a child, my mother still had like a 7-hour work week. No, 7 hour. 7-day work week. Like there was no weekend. She had to work all 7. And they reduced like the working hours legally and things like that. So that made a massive change in how much time people had available for literally everything else. And that's where then hobbies came to play in more as well. So that's also that, and I think we tend to to go this way more anyway. Like maybe not necessarily every country, but I do think as a whole, because I think, for example, in the US, the being in the workforce is still like the biggest driver of this, I don't know, American dream thing. I don't know. Like, because there's also, you see it in how everything else works over there with the little free holiday, like the little holidays and the little amount of sick days you have available. It's like you work or you, and that's what you need to do. So I feel like it's culturally very combined there in a way. But I do think in general, I feel I see a trend of people prioritizing their life over their work way more than they did, and I think it's gonna go. I think the generations after us, the younger ones, they are like, they don't want to, they're not doing this anymore the way that our parents are doing it, the way we have been doing it probably, and they just want to like live a nice life and stuff, which is fair. But yeah,
Absolutely.
there's definitely a shift in that.
Yeah, there is. And it's really nice to see that each generation is taking back more freedom that we didn't have in the generation before. And more just doing it their own ways. Yeah. I think, like, I don't know, do you have anything you want to say before I say like my closing thoughts?
No.
Okay.
Say your closing thoughts.
Okay. My closing thoughts. Yeah, I just think that we need to be more gentle with ourselves when it comes to like expectations and timelines that we think that we need to and should adhere to, because they don't matter at the end of the day. Like, it's about how you feel and what's working on your own personal timeline, and like doing what you love. You do you. And just taking each day as it comes and doing your very best to love life.
That's difficult enough as it is sometimes anyway.
For sure. Like, it's difficult enough when you're just doing you. It's even more difficult when you're trying to do someone else's idea of what life should be.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Good last words. I don't have anything to add, to be honest.
Cool. So that's our thoughts on this topic of why the patriarchy can suck it.
I mean, the patriarchy can always fucking suck it.
It's true. It's true. But in this instance, this is why the patriarchy can suck it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Cool. So thanks for tuning in this week. We will be back next week with another amazing episode of Geek Herring.
In the meantime, you can join us on Discord at geekherring.com/Discord, or find us on Twitter. I was going to say all social media, but that is a downright lie. So just Twitter at Geek Herring.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't find my mouse.
I was like, I'll just wait. Oh.
Well, sorry about that. That was a weird tangent, that.
What one?
I don't know.
Everything was very relevant to our topic, so.
Yeah. Maybe. I have lots of feelings, shocking to no one. Really, Gemma? That's unheard of.
I also have many feelings. Many of them.
You have many feelings. Gemma has many feelings. I have a lot of
Just
spite.
so many feelings. Spite is always one of my feelings, let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm gonna be such an anti-Christ mother, I tell you that. I'm just gonna be like, I do shit however the fuck I want to do it. I have no feelings, just for the record. Charlie, I don't think that's true. Also,
we'll let Charlie believe that.
Should I actually pop out a child? Please don't all leave me. I'm very worried about that.
Well, yeah, you should be.
You're all gonna be this stupid bitch. She's one of those other people now. And now everybody's like, ooh, we don't want to talk to her. I promise I would not shove any... I would not shove... Yeah, why not? I can't wait to go Jaws straight to hell. I'm not sure that's necessary, Gemma.
I mean, I know for sure that I will absolutely be like, Money who? I don't know her. She has a kid.
I know.
Yeah.
That's like a legit concern, though. I mean, babysit you went.
Fair.
Sure, Gemma, sure.
No, I get it. That is very much a concern, and I get it as well because, but
Charlie, I know.
From my point of view,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
All of my friends who have babies no longer talk to me, and I'm like, but I still want to be in your life just because you have babies. Don't leave me just because you have babies.
I don't want to be one of those because I don't want anything to do with all these other mothers. Like, I'm already over this just thinking about it. I'm just like, and I said this to the weirdo. I hate everyone, and everybody will hate our child because he's gonna be fat and weird, and he was like, but we are gonna love it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's a thing. I don't know.
It's fair. Well, my promise to you is that I won't leave you so long as you don't leave me, because I don't particularly love kids.
I have no interest in shoving a child into anybody's face who doesn't want it.
That's not the thing I'm saying. Still be my friend and still do our weird things even though you have a kid. Please.
Charlie, you've never been fat once in your life. Let's just put that out there right now. Just because people tell you are doesn't mean that it's true. Because it sure as fuck is not true in the slightest. Anyway. No, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna sit here with the thingy, like the wrap, and have it in here, and I'm gonna type with you all. Or maybe we'll just get more voice messages.
Okay, good. I expect that.
Cool. I will also not send... Also, when I see people photographing their baby bump, I'm like, what's so special about this? Literally everybody's getting one. I don't know.
Yeah.
We will see.
One of my university friends, we have a shared, we don't love a baby bump, and then she got pregnant, and she was like, Amanda, I have to look at it every day. This is fucking awful. I hate this.
I mean, I can see myself looking at it because it's just weird how big your body can go, but it's not. I don't think it's something where. I mean, I don't know. It's so you can show the kid and help them understand where they've come from. I mean, maybe that makes sense, Gemma.
And because Flinksy is here, I would like to say, Flinksy, thank you so much for the donation to Geek Herring Productions. That was very kind of you.
Yes, thank you. That was during WAC.
I did not see it come up.
My friend did her entire pregnancy without showing a pic on social media. When the baby popped out and she posted the pic, so many people were shocked.
Yeah, I've had a few friends do that as well, which is always fun.
Aww. Everyone thought she must have adopted. Oh, lol.
Aw.
Yeah. We'll see. No, Flinksy, are you out of your mind? This is so nice.
Very, very kind and generous. Thank you.
So yeah, we will see. Maybe. Maybe one time.
Maybe one time.
Yeah, it's also not even the private bit. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what hormones do to you. I have no idea. We will see. I need everybody to tell me if I get like really weird and hormonal or whatever, that I'm losing my
Oh, I'll
shit.
tell you. I tell you
Thank
already,
you.
so nothing's
I'm
gonna
not
change there.
hormonal.
No, I that's what I'm saying. I tell you when you're being a jerk.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So
Fuck the expectations.
exactly. Fuck the
How do you
expectations. Who
find
really? Maybe that's
I can't be that's what I'm also thinking. I can't once again be the only person who is like, I think all of this is really fucking weird. I'd still otherwise want a baby anyway. So where are those patriarchy hating people, mothers? Where are they? Parents. I want them all. I'm like, where how can we get to that? Like, there's a group? I have links. Of course you have links, Gemma.
I have links to the exact patriarchy hating mothers that you were looking for.
I joined that group. See? I have faith. I spent years in the feminist pregnancy and mothers. I love that. Once again, I live in Bamfuck, a hillbilly town. There's nothing remotely feminist here. Like, I feel like I'm the... Thank you so much, Faith.
Thank you so much, Faith. Thank you.
It's good to know that they're out there.
We all need to read Virginia's book about
Fedon?
parenting beyond the gender bias. I just need to look up what the book is called. No, because I am a terrible friend.
Oh.
Virginia.
Oh, I remember now who you're talking about. I remember now.
She was our guest.
Everyone. I love everyone. I remember now who you're talking about. Yeah.
Mendez. Childhood Unlimited. Here we are. This book. I think all parents should read it.
Let me have a look. There's a Kindle edition. Kindle edition.
There is.
Parenting Beyond the Gender Bias.
Yeah, Virginia's doing some really, really, really awesome stuff.
Wow, mofo.
In parenting and feminism. Lots of talks, lots of re-education, uneducation, and stuff in that realm. I recommend her work. She's got kids books as well, which are awesome.
I totally in the title I just read Vagina Mendes and I was like, what? But it said Virginia, so it's not Vagina.
It definitely says Virginia.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Mofo.
Yeah. I'm sure she would love that actually if her name was Vagina.
Vagina Mendes. Yeah. I wonder if that's I'm surely that's not available. That's not allowed here. I'm pretty sure. Just a joke for Lacey. That's good to know that there are people out there like that. I just don't know anyone like this. I feel that makes the name more difficult. All I've seen, this is not entirely true. My best friend wasn't an annoying mother. She wasn't one of those annoying ones. But I experienced a lot annoying ones. And when I told her this, she was like, I hate all of... Then she's working... Am I allowed to say this? She's working in like a family center where there are a lot of mums, and the older her kids get, the more just like all these mothers of young children. They're so annoying. Yeah. It will be fine.
It will be fine. Exactly. Find your people.
That's another group I will find on the internet, right? Like everything in my fucking life.
Exactly.
Because obviously I'm like always such a fucking weirdo. See, there we have it again. Where I'm just finding people online all the fucking time.
Honestly, like these online friends and people that I've met online who I know in real life now, it's like I am closer to all you weirdos than I
Yeah.
am to like most other people in my life.
Mm. And I know
Like
we had this
you all
convo
know
recently.
my innermost thoughts and feelings
Yeah.
more than like anybody else.
The voices of traditional faith. You give me words of wisdom that I really need right now.
Yep.
uh, yeah, and I mean, I said that to you. We talked about this. Tom, you and I talked about this. How it's like you always feel like the weird one out in a place where everybody is like so homogenous, as I mentioned, and it's like so hard to find. I have no idea where I would even be able to find some geeky queer people here. Like no clue. Like it's just there is no. It's and the people you have contact with now, and the ones who are your friends, they are mostly the ones who you went to school with, who you're friends with out of. Well, not necessity. Maybe it's not a necessity, but out of a situation because you spend a lot of time together, and obviously you start to like each other based on other things as well, but there's like not so much overlap in what you enjoy in life and how you approach life, not often. But I feel like it's so difficult, like, and there's nothing like finding such a niche group of people like here with like what we did now with all the people that we know through Twitch and so you just find your niche on the internet, and there you find your people, right? And it's really fucking simple to do this online, but it's so hard to do it offline because how the fuck it's impossible. Like I would not know. There's nothing here where I could get and meet like people like me, and it also makes me immediately feel more odd than I might have otherwise feel, because there's nobody in my close circle that would understand what I do immediately and understand what I'm interested in immediately. It's just, it feels like such an impossible task. Exactly.
I absolutely agree.
Faith, you're so wise.
Yeah, Tom and I were talking about like how the way that the internet and the groups that we're in have really helped shape our current life and worldviews. And like specifically we were talking about the game that will not be named, and like whether we were in the specific spaces that we are now, would we care about what's going on? And I like to think that I still would, but I think that's because I literally cannot picture my life in any way than it is right now with the people that I know and the like the work that I do. So I'm like I don't know, but I feel like the answer would be yes, because I know who I am as a person, and who I am as a person is like down with turfs always. So
the turf game, Charlie.
the wizard turf game.
I mean, I said this before and I can say it again. If I would have not been on the internet the way I would have been, there would have been no chance. Like, there wouldn't have been a way in which I would have connected to some kind of queer community at all. Like, I didn't study long enough in Graz the way I did. I wasn't like a student then. Like, I was a student when I went to uni, but I was already working, so it wasn't ever that like my schedule looked way different than one from a proper student, let's say, that who is only studying and has time to like test everything out. That wasn't on my agenda then. So I would have probably been able to go through the world without massive contact like that, and then I would have maybe read it, maybe been like, this is stupid, but not enough to not play it, I don't think. Like, I think I would have still played it. And that's not me trying to be like a bitch about it, but it's also just to like demonstrate that I think a lot of people don't have enough contact and don't understand how harmful it actually is to the people involved. Like they just think it's just some author saying some bullshit that they don't agree with. But I think that's where it ends.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So that's where, and I don't think that automatically makes them bad people. But that's just again like what fights we're picking in our life. That's what we've had what we've had previously about. They may be focusing on a lot of other things in their life that they care about, and maybe that's not on the top of their agendas. And it sucks and it's annoying, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
What a mood.
what a
We
mood.
go on forever about our love of our internet weirdos.
Honestly, love internet weirdos. I always have.
Mm-hmm. Same. As soon as the internet